A few days before this session, I heard some people talking about that they were going to take the flipped classroom session, and they were talking about what they thought the flipped classroom was. So I was interested, and I thought, let me ask a few other people, what is the flipped classroom?
What is a flipped classroom? Could be a lot of things. It could be a classroom reading the novel Flipped. But my guess would be a flipped classroom might be one that is familiar with using the flip camera.
The flipped classroom. I read this in the book the other day.
Flipped, changed around. To me, it looked like something we could do to get the kids more involved and more interested in what's going on. Changed from the traditional teaching to more stuff that's going to excite the kids.
I just read this and I sent Amanda an email about it. Forget. Erase that.
I would imagine flip your classroom sort of means like when the kids kind of take over the, understanding of what's going on, or maybe their ideas instead of just always the teacher talking. So that's my idea what flip your classroom means.
She's still filming. The flipped classroom is where
I'm assuming that it has something to do with filming using a flip camera and observing your own teaching, analyzing.
Classroom.
I'm not sure. I'm thinking it has to do with technology.
where you
A flipped classroom has to do with organizing your space, has to do with aesthetics and making the environment better for learning.
I'm assuming it has something to do with the kids providing more of the information than the teacher. Kind of the teacher facilitating it, but the students actually giving their information.
Well, it can't be where you flip the class off. That wouldn't be appropriate.
What's a flipped classroom?
A flipped classroom is a situation where some work is done at home, say like a PowerPoint presentation that they watch at home on their computer instead of doing it in class, so you have more time to practice what they've seen on the video.
The flipped classroom model, turning traditional education on its head. In the flipped classroom model, what usually happens in the classroom now happens at home, and what usually happened at home now happens in the classroom. How this works is the teachers create a series of 5 to 7 minute videos of instruction, things that they were going to cover in class. And they make these videos available online to their students. The students then, for homework, watch these videos, and then they come to school the next day ready to interact and work with the material. This really takes instructional technology and what we know about students learning through activity and makes that the central focus of the instructional environment in the classroom. This all came to be because a couple of teachers in Colorado were concerned about students who were sick, and so they began to record their lectures and put them online. And what they found is it wasn't just the kids who had missed class were watching the lectures, but other kids were watching the lectures and were using that to study at home. And so they began this idea of maybe what they would do is put the lectures online, and then the things that we asked the kids to do at home, we would have them do that in the classroom. This is advantageous because a lot of times kids will listen to the information in class, but they won't really necessarily understand it. And so then they'll go home and they'll do their homework, but they'll practice wrong. Usually the videos that teachers create are about 5 to 7 minutes long. And then the next day, what they would do for homework normally, they would come into class and they would do that in class. The kids that get this are ready to move. The kids that are struggling with it, you're there to help. And so it really does even out the playing field for the students. Of course, though, in this day and age, what we are all concerned about is achievement, and there have been some studies of the flipped classroom, and they have been showing that achievement really does increase with the flipped classroom. Here is just one set of results where they study the effects of the flipped classroom on an incoming group of freshmen, and you can see that the freshmen had tremendously higher achievement and much more success than the students who had been taught in a more traditional classroom model. Now, your homework for this flipped lesson is to come to the session tomorrow with 3 questions. And you can have more, that's fine, but come to the session tomorrow with 3 questions about the flipped classroom, what you know about it now, how you think you might be able to use it, how you think you might want to explore it, and of course, I'm the ITC, so how I can help you.